Hello, hello, good evening, friends. I welcome you all in Let's Crack J English, and this is our lecture number two on permutation and combination. And before we start the lecture, I would like to wish you happy Deepavali. How's everything at home? Doing good? I would love to just salute you guys. You guys are still preparing, being it a festive season, and you guys are still preparing for J. Salute to your dedication, your hard work. I hats off, I hats off to you guys. It's something really good. I'm just happy to see you guys here. Okay, so we'll start our session now. And those who are joining me the very first time, this is my introduction. Hi, I'm Nishant Khanduja. I graduated and post-graduated from IIT Bombay. My rank in IIT was 1256. In AIEEE it was 363. In Rajasthan pre-engineering test it was All India rank 4. And I traded in US and Canadian markets for 2 years, and I have 8 years of teaching experience. One thing which is not mentioned here, and that is very close to my heart, that I always wanted to teach people, those who are there in small cities, tier 3, tier 4 cities, small villages, and they want to get into big institute like IIT, but they can't, they don't have the resources. Maybe it could be financial crunch, or they can't go to big cities like Kota, Indore, Delhi, Hyderabad, and like these cities. They are the hub for IIT JEE. Correct. So I thought, how can I reach them? How can I teach them? These are the questions, and those questions were answered when I joined an academy. And I joined them for their India's largest campaign, that is Let's Crack J. I became a part of that campaign, and I'm doing my small bit there by teaching you guys mathematics for J. Now, people, those who want to learn from me, being there at their places, what they need to do? They need to install an Academy Learning app. When they install an Academy Learning app, they get two sort of options: Plus subscription, and the one is Iconic subscription. Let's talk about the benefits in Plus subscription. What are the things you'll get in Plus subscription? You get to attend daily live classes. So these daily live classes are completely different from these YouTube live classes where you are seeing me right now. The kind of interaction you're going to have with the educator, that is completely different. You can just interact with him. You can ask doubts. You can have discussion about the topics. You can also be a part of polling system. So in a way, I call it next to offline classroom experience. You can also attempt live tests and quizzes, so you can evaluate your progress, how well you are with a particular topic, or what you need to do with that certain topic. You have also been given structured courses by all these top educators. So if, let's say, if you know an educator who delivers really good lectures in chemistry, in organic chemistry, and he is there in Kota, you don't need to worry about it. That educator is here on this platform, and you can study, you can learn maximum knowledge in lesser time, in minimum time. And this is what the benefit of these structured courses are. You also have the unlimited access to the recorded videos by all these top educators. So what you can do is, in lesser, no, you can, whenever you want, wherever you want, n number of times, you can watch these videos and revise your topic. We also have Iconic subscription. In Iconic subscription, apart from whatever benefits you're getting in Plus subscription, you get personal mentor. So he would be the right person who would be guiding you throughout the time span. Let's say you are choosing a subscription for 1 year. So for that 1 year, he'll be guiding you. He will be strategizing your strategy, how to write the examination. You also have test analysis report that will help you to improve your time management and examination approach. That will also tell you where exactly you're losing marks, what you need to do. We also have study planner that customizes the study according to your own need. You can just review it bi-weekly, and if at all any changes are there, this study planner will incorporate those changes in next study plan. So when it comes to buying these packages, what do you need to do? You need to install an Academy Learning app. Once you do it, you get 6, 12 and 24 months option. I suggest if a student is there in 11th standard, he must go for this 2 years subscription. The reason is very simple, because when he when he thinks that he is going to prepare for IIT JEE, this preparation is for 2 years. So no one would like to discontinue his or her preparation before the examination gets over, right? Because people prepare till the end. Because till the end they try to attempt, they try to revise things, they try to attempt the mock test papers. Everything happens. So everything is provided here on this Unacademy platform. Apart from that, these courses have designed, those structural courses, they have designed for 2 years in such a manner that within that time span you have sufficient time for each and every topic. So if at all you, let's say, discontinue in between, you will end up skipping a few topics, then why would you like to take a risk? No, you should not take a risk. Third is, it's very cost effective. Look at the price, 2,332 rupees per month. If you just look at per day price, it is what? 78 rupees per day, which is what? Nominal price. It's nothing, correct? So I would suggest you guys to go ahead and choose this package. So the price for 2 years is 56,000 rupees. It reduces to 50,400 rupees if you apply my code NK001. Similarly, for 1 year, which is specifically meant for 12th students and droppers, and the price would be for this package is 38,500 rupees. It reduces to 34,650 rupees if you apply my code NK001. For Iconic, the price for 2 years subscription is 86,000 rupees. It reduces to 77,400 rupees if you apply my code NK001. For 1 year Iconic subscription, the price is 56,000 rupees. It reduces to 50,400 rupees if you apply my code NK001. So that's your bit, that's your part. You need to do it whenever you feel like. You can just buy the subscription. But if you want a suggestion from my end, I would say buy the subscription as soon as possible, because already you're running out of time and no one would like to lose time when he's preparing for this sort of competitive examination. Second, already a few courses they had been started. So if you join those courses ASAP, you'll find ground yourself as soon as possible. Otherwise, what would happen if you join the course in between? You would find very difficult for yourself to be comfortable. And if you, let's say, not joining right now, there are a few courses which are about to start. Okay, so you can join those courses. So in a way, sooner you join, the better it would be. Okay, so let's start the session where we left yesterday. So I gave you guys homework. Yes. So yes, this was a question I gave you in homework. Tell me, how would you approach this question? The question is, find the total number of integer n such that n is between 2 to 2000 and HCF of n and 36 is 1. So when someone says that HCF of n and 36 is 1, what does that mean? That means if I factorize this 36, I'll get what? 2 raised to 2 into 3 raised to 2. That means if I take the common part, if I, let's say, factorize n also, then the common thing should be what? Only 1. That means this HCF, this n should not have any power of 2 and not even any power of 3. So nothing, neither 2 nor 3. This should not be there in the factorization of n. Okay. So how is that possible? That means in a way I can say that n should not be divisible and should not be divisible by either 2 or 3. So now let's do one thing. Let's take out those numbers which are divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, so how will I do that? So the very simple thing is, if I just take, let's say, starting from 2 to 2000, how many numbers are there? I can say yes, there are 1,999 numbers are there. Out of these, if I just take out numbers those are divisible by 2, you will say yes, 1000 numbers are there. Every even number, right? So numbers divisible by 2. How many numbers are there? 1000 numbers are there. The number divisible by 3. if I just check how many numbers are there, those are divisible by 3. Again, easy thing. What you need to do is, again, till 2000, you can just divide by 3. So 2000 divided by 3. So as you can see, so 6, 6, 6. So triple six numbers are there, starting from 3 till 1998, right? So triple six numbers are there. Now tell me one thing. So when I'm finding the numbers which are divisible by 2 as well as 3, it might be possible that that number might be divisible by both 2 and 3, right? So that is coming twice. So how to take that number out? Yes, very good. As you said, absolutely right. We have to take the numbers out which are divisible by both 2 and 3. That means number divisible by 6. So now if I divide this by 6, 2000, I get these triple three numbers. You can do it. You can perform this operation here. 3, 2, 0, again 3, then again 2, 0. Again triple nine, this 1998. This will be divisible by 6 also. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Since this 2 and 3 has already got, let's say if I sum numbers which are divisible by 2 and 3, the total number will be what? 1666, right? Now I have to take out those terms which are divisible by 6 because we are counting them twice. I have to count them only once. So I have to reduce. So let's subtract. So how many numbers are left for me? So these are the numbers which are divisible by 2 and 3. Now I have to take those numbers which are not divisible by 2 and 3 because that will give me what? HCF of n, and 36 is 1. So how many total numbers are there? 1999. So total numbers which are having HCF of n and 36 is 1. How many numbers are there? So 1999 minus 1333. The answer is 666. That's it. So this was the question. I hope you got the question. It is very easy question. It just, and as you can see in this question, we didn't even use your multiplication rule. There was no multiplication rule in this question. In this question, only addition rule was there. Or, yes, or statement was there. Correct. Either number is divisible by 2 or 3. Okay. I hope you got this. Let's move ahead. Okay, let's find the answer for this question. Find the number of diagonals in the polygon of n sides. I know people might be thinking, yes, Alisa, this is the question which we can easily solve using our combination formula. Yes, certainly you can do that. But I would suggest, let's say if you are not aware of combination formula, then try how exactly you can solve this question. So let's try it out. So let's make n side polygon. And obviously dotted line you can just show because n side polygon. So I want to make. So now how would I approach? So see, I'll approach very basic. Now tell me one thing. So how can we form the diagonal first? Tell me this thing. We can form the diagonal by choosing 2 points, right? By choosing 2 points. So now choosing 1 point and choosing 1 point, and choosing second point. These are the events, the sub events. They have to happen together. Yes or no? When you will be choosing, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता ना? Either choose 1 point or choose 2 point will form the diagonal. No, choosing 1 and choosing 2 points will form the diagonal, right? So as you can see, and is coming. So we have to first choose point number 1, then point number choose number of ways, then we have to multiply the number of ways. I hope you got this. So we will be using what? Multiplication rule here. Okay. So let's start. So out of these n points, because n sides are there, so that means n vertices are also there. So if I go and choose the first point, now tell me how many options are there for me? Tell me how many options are there for me? Obviously n options are there. So choosing 1 point. choosing one point. How many options? N options into. Now I have to form what diagonal. What diagonal? So once I have chosen first point, so I can't choose that same point, right? So n minus 1 points are left, right? Now out of those n minus 1 points, can I choose the adjacent points? No, I can't, because if I choose those adjacent points, I'll form the side, not the diagonal. So that means if I have chosen this point, I'll change the color so that you will understand what I mean to say. So if I have chosen this point, can I choose this point? No, obviously I can't choose these 2 points. The reason is very simple, because these are adjacent points. I'll make side, not the diagonal. So how many points are being taken out? 3 points. So left points are n minus 3 points. So these are what? N minus 3 points. So for second point, I have what? N minus 3 options available. So this will be your these are the total points. Now tell me one thing. When you will be just following, or you can say when you will be just going ahead, and when you will be following the same progress for this point also, sometimes it might happen that you will choose the same opposite point also. See, right now if you form a diagonal like this, now if you choose this point, and again for this point you have got n minus 3 options, so this might be one of the options, then you might form again the same diagonal. Yes or no? Yes. So if you might choose the same diagonal, so in a way you are counting twice. So to get this away, and from the final answer you have to just divide by 2. When you divide by 2, you are taking out those multiple options which you have counted twice, you are taking them out. Okay, I hope you got this question also. Now those combination people, they can try the question and you will be getting the same answer. You can try it out. That's not an issue. Okay, so tell me, how would you try it out? So for combination people, see, for combination people, what they would say, okay, so I have to make a diagonal. So what I'll do is, diagonal is what? A side, right? Anything, it's like a straight line. So I have to choose only 2 points out of those n points. So they'll say NC2. Okay, now from NC2, it might happen that we might form side also. So let's reduce those sides. N into n minus 1 and 2 divided by n. So n will be common. So n minus 1 minus 2 upon 2. Solve it, n into n minus 3 upon 2. You are getting the same answer only from the combination formula also. But it just, since I have not taught combination, so I just want to keep you away from that. This is the basic, I have. So people, those who are studying this permutation combination from scratch, and those who have already studied, I would request, whatever you have learned, just keep it aside for a while. Let's try to understand my process, my this method of going through or understanding this permutation and combination. So let's start. Next topic, factorial notation. Now what is this factorial notation? So if I have written, let's say, n factorial, so that means I am writing n into n minus 1. So this is descending. In descending order, I am writing the numbers, natural numbers, until 1. And all are in multiplication. Clear? So this is the factorial notation. And one more thing I would like to convey with you guys. If someone writes 0 factorial, the value of 0 factorial is 1. 1 factorial is what? 1. If let's say 3 factorial, so that means I'll start with 3, then descending, then 2, then 1 till 1. So this will be equal to what? 6. So that's how you can easily calculate things, and this is your factorial notation. Remember this. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Now let's talk about the exponent of prime in n factorial. Now someone says exponent of prime. What does that mean? Let's try to understand this. Exponent of prime means if you try to factorize n factorial. Factorize. What I'm saying is factorize. When we factorize any number, we write always in terms of prime numbers, correct? Now whatever power you'll get here for the primes, those are basically the exponents. Okay. Now how to calculate those exponent if we have got n factorial? How can we do that? So let's understand, let's try to study this. So what we do is, now just try to understand this. if there is a number, let's say 37. Okay, 37 factorial. I have got this. Now in this, I want to just check the 2's exponent. So how will I do that? So for that, what I do is, first I know, see, try to imagine this. So 37 into 36 into 35 till 1. So first what I'll do is, I'll try to take those terms out where only single power of 2 is there. Only single power of 2 is there. So how will I do that? It's very easy. So for that, I'll just divide 37 by 2. And I'll take the greatest integer. So as I divide 37 by 2, I get what? I get 18, right? 18.5. But I am taking the greatest integer of that. So 18 even terms are there where I can see the 2 is there. If I factor those numbers, I'll get 2 there, right? So see, 36, 1, 2 is here. Then 34 also has 2. Then 32 is also having 1, 2. Then 30 is also having 1, 2. So from there, as you can see, I got this. Now I need to pick out those terms. Those are having 2 raised to 2. How can I find that? For that, I have to divide by 4. So again, greatest integer of 37 divided by 4. So how do we write? 2 raised to 2 that. So I have terms, those are having 2 raised to 2 in their factorization. Similarly, 2 raised to 3 is also possible. So 37 divided by 2 raised to 3. Now you might ask, till when I have to keep dividing and adding the greatest integer? So it is very easy. So the moment your 2 raised to goes beyond your number, your n. See here it is 37. So as we know, if we do 2 raised to 5, we get what? 32, right? The moment I do 2 raised to 6, that is your 64. Obviously, it can't have any 2 raised to 6 power. So we will be doing till 2 raised to 5 only. We can't go beyond. We always go till the maximum power of 2. So I'll keep dividing. 37 divided by 2 raised to 4. Greatest integer 37 divided by 2 raised to 5. That's it. So all these are greatest integer function. So if I want to write this down, so this will be what? 18 plus 4 divided by 37, 9 plus 8 divided by 37, so 4 times 4 point something. So greatest integer of that is what? 4. 16 divided by this, only 2 times. 32, only 1 times. So these are, so let's add 7, 16, 16 plus this, 34. So 2 raised to 34 power will be there if you try to factorize 37 factorial. Now obviously other terms will be, other prime numbers will also be there, but if we are talking about 2, so 2 will have 34 power in the factorization of 37 factorial. I hope you guys got it. Similarly, you can try the same process for 3 also. So if you do it for 3, so let's do it for 3 here. So 37 divided by 3 plus 37 divided by 3 square, 9. 37 divided by 3 cube, we get 27. And beyond that, we got 81. So obviously, we do not need to look for that. So when you divide, you get 12. Here 9, you get 4. 27, here you get 1. So we have what? 50 or 5, 17. So 3 will have what? Power 17 here. Multiply with another prime numbers. So that's how you can do it. Factorization of factorization of n factorial. Okay. So let's use the same concept to solve questions. Okay. So first, this is a very this is not based on exponent, but we can solve it normally because using the factorization concept. Okay. Okay. The factorial concept. Use your factorial concept and factorization both. You can use it. So let's see. Prove that n factorial square is equal to what? Is more than actually. So n factorial square is lesser than n raised to n into n factorial. So how would you do that? So first let's try to prove this only. So I can write the left hand side like this. Yes or no? Right? Now because I know the on the right hand side is n factorial is there, so I'll not touch it. Let's not touch it. Let's try to transform this, only this part. So this is what 1 into 2 into 3, it will keep continue till n minus 1, n, and into what, n factorial will be written as it is. Now just imagine here n raised to n is there, and I have got what, starting from 1 to n terms are there, but it's starting from 1. Now just think, if I replace this 1 by n, so obviously I am replacing n with a bigger number. When I'm replacing n with a bigger number, so eventually this will be smaller. So I'll replace 1 with n, similarly 2 with n, similarly 3 with n. So as I know that n is bigger than 1, n is bigger than 2 also. So I am replacing all these terms with n till n minus 1. Then I have this term already. So as you can see, n is there n times. So this will be all n raised to n into n factorial here. So my inequality, this inequality got proved. Now from there, let's try to prove this 2n factorial. So let's write it down. So till here it is clear. Which is your n raised to n factorial. Clear? Now just think, if I add 1 in this term, 2 in this term, if I add 1 in this, 2 in this, 3 in this, and here n. So obviously I'm multiplying with a bigger number, right? So obviously this will be smaller, and I'll get what? 1 plus n, n plus 2, n plus 3, and it will keep continuing till 2n minus 1 and n, 2n multiplied with n factorial. Now see this is n factorial. After n factorial we have got n plus 1, n plus 2. So basically this is the factorial till 2n. Yes or no? Yes. So this your second inequality also got proved, right? So it's a very easy question. It's just your factorial properties, factorial, how factorial works. So we are using all those things here. Clear? Perfect. Let's move to our next question then. Okay, this is a very good question. Find the number of zeros at the end of 130 factorial. 130 factorial. Now tell me one thing. So as it says, we have to find the number of zeros at the end of 130 factorial. So zeros are always by a 10, right? And 10 is always made up of two prime numbers, 2 and 5. Now tell me one thing. When I'll try to factorize this, when I'll try to write this in terms of prime numbers like 2 raised to something, 3 raised to something, 5 raised to something. So in that case, wherever I'll be having minimum power, those many tens will be there. So let's say if I take 2 and 5, so whosoever is having lesser exponent, that will be equal to the number of zeros. Yes or no? Because that many tens will be formed. Correct? So let's do one thing. Why not calculate the exponents of 2 and 5 in 130 factorial? So let's do this. 130 divided by 2 first. Then 130 divided by 2 raised to 2 plus 130 divided by 2 raised to 3. Then 130 divided by 2 raised to 4. Then let's do 130 divided by 2 raised to 5 plus 130 divided by 2 raised to 6. Till 2 raised to 6, how many terms are there? 2 raised to 6. Here 8 into 8, 64. Then 130 divided by 2 raised to 7, 64 into 128. So after that, yes, we don't require. So after that, obviously it will be 0. So let's calculate this. What do we get? So 130 divided by 2, 65 plus then 4. Okay, so it will be what? 3, then 2. Then what do we have? 8. So 1, then 506, then 16. So 16 divided by 130 divided by 16. So we'll go till 80, then 80 plus 30, 80 plus 48. Yes. So 8 times. Then we have what, this 32. So 32 will be there, what, 4 times 128, right? Plus. Then we have this 64. So obviously 2, and this finally 1. Let's sum them up. So this is 97. 97 plus 16 is what? 97 plus 16. 103, 113, 113, 121, 121, 121, and 7, 128. So 121, right? 121, 121, and yes, 128. So 128 exponents are there. Whereas you calculate for 5, what do we see? 25. So 5 square, 125. Yes, still here, last. Let's calculate this. So we have got 5. If we divide by 5, we get 2, and then 3, 6, 26. Then if we divide by this, 25. So we get 5 times only, then only once. So how many? Yes, 32. As you can see, 5 has got the lesser exponent. So the number of tens we get only 32 tens. So whenever we see 32 tens, so 32 tens are there. So I can say 32 tens will be there. So according to the number of tens, we have the same number of zeros behind any number. So when you multiply the random prime numbers, you get a number. Multiply with 32 tens. So how many zeros will be there at the end of 130 factorial? 32 zeros. I hope you got this answer, right? This is a very easy question, correct? So since it's Diwali, it's a festive season, I know, yes, you want to celebrate it with your family, with your friends. So we'll not just keep it heavy for today. We'll keep the session short, and I wish you again happy Diwali. And that's how we end the session. And I would like to inform you about my fun day series which I'm conducting on Unacademy application. So this is the special class I conduct where you guys can come. These special classes are free of cost. So right now we are conducting these special classes every day at 11 a.m. So you can come and you can just be with me, solve questions. So there what we do is, so basic funda is, we try to learn fundamentals via questions, and we also try to solve questions, big questions. Those are, people think they're formula based questions, but we solve them using simple basics. Okay, so this is the beauty of this fun day series. So you are always welcome to attend it. So at 11 a.m. Unacademy application. So you can just come and access that. You can just follow me on Unacademy application. So whenever I conduct any video there, you will get notification for the same. And if you have liked the video, I would request you to just like it, share it with your friends, subscribe the channel, and you can just hit the bell icon button so that whenever I come online next time, you get the notification before the time. And people, those who have decided to join Unacademy Plus and Iconic, they can use this NK001 code. It will be beneficial for you. Yes, you'll be getting 10% off, right? So you can use it. And in the description, this Telegram group link is there. So you can just join that group. So you'll get the notification. Apart from that, whatever material I post, you'll be getting that material also. Okay guys, so thanks a lot for attending the class. I am really grateful that I could see you guys today also preparing for JEE. That's really good. That's impressive actually. So happy Diwali once again. Just wish your family on my behalf also. Enjoy the season. Bye bye. Take care.